G'day there guys, my name's Marky, and welcome back to another episode of Stories from Reddit. With that said, let's go. Am I the asshole here for not wanting to confront my mum about bad-mouthing my wife and telling her play stupid games, win stupid prizes? So I grew up in the US, and when I was 18, my mum moved to Italy to head the foreign branch of her company. She had to learn Italian quickly, and I never learned any as I've never been in Italy more than a few weeks at a time. She got married while living there, and her husband speaks a little bit of English, but really not fluently. My mum is currently visiting, and her husband is with her. While she speaks in English to my wife and I, of course she still interacts with her husband and speaks Italian. My wife happens to speak it as well, as she was an au pair for years and lived abroad. Going into this, she thought that it would be funny not to tell my mum so that she could hear their private conversations. I thought that was kinda weird, but I just let it go. Well, my wife has come to me furious a few times, saying that they're insulting the food and saying they are bored. I basically feel like they have the right to not enjoy themselves. They have been polite to our faces. My wife says that I need to confront my mum for disrespecting her in her own house, but I told her that she should have mentioned to my mum that she knew Italian and play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I really feel what they are saying isn't that bad. It isn't like they are personally insulting either of us. In the comments, so why couldn't she have told your wife in English? Or are you just wanting your wife to come clean and tell them that she speaks Italian fluently? Also, why are you letting them disrespect your wife? OP says, because who the F goes into someone's house and tells them they don't like their food? It is within her rights not to like it and to confide in her husband, but saying anything to her host would be beyond rude and entitled. My mum wasn't disrespecting my wife by having a private opinion. Has OP's mother met his wife before the wedding? OP says, she's met her before, but this is the first time we've spent any significant amount of time with her husband. If my mum is with us, she speaks English. Info. Did your mother act like this shit in front of you or behind your back? I mean, did they speak ill about you and your wife in front of your face, or was this a private conversation they were having, for example, in their room, that your wife just happened to hear? Also, is your mother always shitty, or was this a special occasion to be shitty because people couldn't understand her? Depends on the answers. If it was a private conversation, then not wrong. If your mother spoke ill to your face just because you can't speak the same language, and now that you know she did, you don't call her out, then you're just like mummy, and I feel sorry for your wife. OP says, one time my mum's husband said he was so bored he wanted to shoot himself while we were all in the living room.
That's crazy.
Once at dinner, she whispered to him that she can't eat any more of this, and the other time we were getting ready to go out, and he asked if she was okay, and she said no, she felt sick from the food. He laughed and was like, good, so I'm not dramatic then. My mum's a nice enough person and would never want to hurt anyone's feelings, but she's used to living with cooks and housekeepers, and she's hard to please. Your wife should serve dinner and speak fluently in Italian and not say another word. They will get uncomfortable and won't say anything, but I promise they'll wonder if they were overheard. Then let it go. She should stop making their meals. They can cook for themselves if they don't like it. Your wife just needs to respond back to them in Italian. That is the only answer here. Since OP is in such denial on this, agree, I wouldn't blame the wife if she did. Then OP can be even more uncomfortable because it won't be so easy to hide from a confrontation. Ooh, I vote for animated Italian yelling between wife, mum, and husband while OP slowly shrinks into his seat because he doesn't really understand and can't speak the language, but doesn't have the courage to either tell them to cut it out or leave. I think there's a lot to unpack with this one. Like genuinely, eavesdropping, even if it's unintentional, can be a huge breach of privacy there.
Though these thoughts were not exactly private. He's saying he's going to shoot himself in the living room. That was crazy.
Another thing is that when the language proficiency here is revealed, that's going to alter your relationship with your mother and the partner considerably. You guys have kicked the can so far down the road here that there's going to be a fight. I don't think there is a way that a fight doesn't break out. These two are not going to trust your wife at all after this point. So I say good luck with that one. Upon thinking about it a bit more, I think you have to be the one to break the ice with your mum, because if your wife does it, that's going to be crazy. I don't think that there's a middle ground here either. I don't think that you can placate both parties. I think your mum is just going to be pissed off and probably never come to your house for dinner again, at the minimum. Maybe your perception of your mother and her comments being a nice enough person who would never want to hurt anyone's feelings is skewed and not part of reality. To me, her words and the banter between those two are more direct jabs at you guys. They seem nasty. And there's one thing on my mind here as well. Just how bad is your wife's cooking? And why do you not think it's bad? Who's lying here? Are you lying or are they lying? Because if your wife was making consistently shit meals, I'd probably say the same thing as those two were saying. I'm not gonna lie, I'm just human. And now, onto the update. So I continued to decline to speak to my mother because I felt as though my wife's behavior was dishonest and because I don't want to be a hypocrite. I have 100% complained to my wife in private that I didn't enjoy a meal or an event. Well, it all went to hell last night. My mum left something in the living room and my wife brought it to her room and heard my mum vomiting. This was pretty soon after dinner. My wife was pissed and waited at the door despite my mum's husband trying to get her to move. When my mum came out, she asked her in a perfect Italian if the food was that bad that she had to throw it up.
Oh no.
My mum was shocked that she spoke Italian and asked why she never told her. My wife said because you're a witch who talk about people in Italian. At this point, I heard the raised voices and came into the room. My mum felt her deceit was creepy and refused to apologize since she felt deceived. She was doing her absolute best. She had been feeling sick all week and even threw up a few times and hid it, but didn't want to cause drama. My wife accused her of making herself throw up, and my mum called her a trashy witch. I lost it and told my mum to get the hell out. My mum's husband got involved and he doesn't speak enough English to say anything directly to me, but my wife said that he was calling me a piece of shit son, asking if I really didn't notice that my mum looked pale and unwell. Today was supposed to be their last day, but they're off doing their own thing, and I guess we won't say goodbye before she flies home. In the comments, Beneficial Noise 691 says, "Well, at least you're all dickheads. Your wife wanted the trouble. She kept her language skills quiet to catch your mother saying something. Your mother was rude, slagging off someone's hospitality whilst in their house. Not cool. Your wife's husband reacted like a dickhead because he knew his wife was being rude and your wife set her up, but he focused on you. You are either the least dickhead or the most dickheaded. I can't really decide, but just so you understand, you let this happen. Basically, you all suck balls." I wonder if mother-in-law is sick and the food was gross on purpose? Did this guy's wife start all of this on purpose for some big confrontation? In either case, everyone is awful. OP says, "I think she was sick from the texture. I had this issue as well when I first began dating my wife, but I've gotten used to it. My wife would never do that on purpose."
Bro, don't say that. That's crazy. So you know that her food sucks. And, oh my god.
Wow, your wife was a jerk and you stood by her. Didn't you notice that your mother wasn't looking well? You and your wife are rude and disrespectful, hiding the fact that your wife speaks Italian. Would you do this to friends? Other family members? Her family? You and your wife are terrible hosts. OP says, "She was a little pale, but I assumed she was malnourished. Yes, everyone who comes here gets the same treatment." So they speak multiple languages, but can't communicate properly in either of them. What a pity. They're already dead. Stop attacking them. What are you expecting your mother to do? She's flown down to spend some time with her son. You seriously expect her to tell him his wife's cooking sucks to his face? Is that how you behave as a guest? Poor OP's mum. She was making do until the wife decided to burn bridges. The part that made me shook was when he said that he had the same problem with her food when he met her, but that it's better now. Just how bad is it? The mother-in-law was trying to hold it together until they left, but daughter-in-law was creeping around, listening to their conversations and getting offended. It's interesting that with all her creeping around, she managed to ignore the signs of her mother-in-law being unwell. He didn't say it got better, he said he adjusted to it. Dude needs to maybe take cooking classes with his wife so she doesn't make people sick. God damn. Literally, what the hell is the wife cooking that's making people physically ill until they get used to it? That's what I want to know. And I just looked at the comments. Apparently his wife is just that terrible at cooking in general. She knows her food isn't good, but is numb to it. Also, according to OP, his wife insisted on cooking for everyone every night so his mum wouldn't think that she was lazy. Lamau? So she knows she's a terrible cook, but she's insulted that people privately comment on it and are made so unwell that they vomit. She sounds like a terrible person. She would have made a better impression if she served McDonald's every night.
I officially absolve the mother and the partner of any assholery in this situation. You and your wife are unhinged. You are bad people, OP. And you should feel bad for that. And you should keep sticking by her side so that no one else has to date you two, because what in the goddamn. I was looking for reasons to defend you two, but you both suck so much. You saw your mum getting physically sick and you didn't ask her questions about it? You weren't like, Mom, what's going on? Are you dying? You're a bit malnourished looking. What's the problem? My assumption from there is that you don't like your mum. You still defended your wife after her shitty eavesdropping, saying that, my wife knowing Italian was just a prank, bro. Oh, if you feel deceived, sucks to be you, I guess. Then you just completely dismiss your mum's feelings about her entire experience here and all the shit that you guys put her through. You knew what your wife was doing and you let this confrontation happen. You're a bad person. I don't even think we need to get into why your wife is a bad person and a bad cook here. Just, you guys deserve each other. You let her initiate that confrontation. And you let her get away with everything here and then made excuses for her. Jesus. The only thing I can say about your mum is that it was wrong place, wrong time to be making those comments. They should have been making those in complete privacy, like you did with your wife. But that doesn't justify you and your wife's actions here. You two are the assholes. No thank you for sharing the story. Have a bad day. Our next post is by a deleted user, titled, I can't forgive my husband for saying he wanted to bang my cousin during sex after her wedding. I'm female 34, what I thought as happily married. 2 kids with my husband, male 37. We went to my female cousin's wedding this summer, and my husband drinks socially for weddings and large gatherings. So this is not the norm for him. He drank so much at the wedding, though it's not an excuse. After the wedding, we went back to the hotel and started having sex immediately. When he went inside me, he started saying, your cousin blank is so hot that I'm gonna bang you like I'm sleeping with her. God, what a panty dropper that line is. That is just so attractive. I literally went numb. I could not enjoy the sex, and he literally gave me the best sex of our entire marriage. But I was dead inside. The next day, he didn't remember anything. I mentioned it to him a few days later because we have sex pretty much every single day for the past 7 years being married. I could stomach sleeping with him, and he knew something was wrong because we are very affectionate. I told him that I couldn't look at him the same. He said sorry, blah blah blah. Apparently he wasn't that drunk to remember what he said. I haven't told anyone, but every day I fantasize of straight up leaving him, and when I have sex with him, I completely blank out and pretend that it's not him. It's been a few months and I haven't told him. Other than this, he's my dream husband, and I'm so torn on if I should divorce him. Update: a bit more information to add since I'm repeating myself. He is the only person that I've ever had sex with right out of college. So my attachment is strong. My libido used to be high, and now our sex every night is usually just him straight up fingering me to find the hole and then inserts, and is him enjoying himself. He apologized so many times, wants therapy, and gets emotional not understanding why I can't enjoy sex with him. I tried 3 solo therapy sessions, and they just say to forgive because it's not infidelity and can be resolved with communication. For some reason, sex is a trauma for me now, and I can't stop thinking about it no matter how great our day is. Divorce seems freeing, but seems chaotic, and obvious a dramatic choice over this. Yes, my cousin is hot, but so are my 7 other girl cousins. Now family functions with holidays coming up seem terrifying. Also, I'm very, very attractive too. I'm just not 24 anymore. My cousin's age. Again, I haven't shared my current feelings with him in months because I'm embarrassed and don't want to bring it up again. I know it's insecure, and I don't want to look insecure. I'm just mentally and physically unwell. Update part 2. Last night we didn't have sex. So I slept good, but had to think about everyone's comments. Some made me laugh, some challenged me. My husband hugged me and didn't initiate sex for the first time and kissed me and said, "I know something's not okay with you, and I'm praying for you, and it hurts to see you in pain." Didn't make me feel better, seriously feel the same inside. Going to talk to him tonight. Also to counseling this week with him and stop having sex until I feel safe and forgive him. I need to heal. I'm hot girl spiraling. Never judge a book by its cover. People see me and think my life is perfect and I'm lucky. I'm numb inside, just wanting to feel loved again. I hope there's hope around the corner. I have been completely destroyed. Sexually, mentally, and now physically. Please give me some grace, and if you want to knock me down, at least make it humorous. I know people have it worse, but pain feels the same at the end of the day. If this breaks us, then I truly pray that there are men out there that actually understand how delicate intimacy is. In the comments, I Collect Batmobiles says, "This is the start of resentment." OP says, "Yes, I know it is, sadly. I'm just trying to get advice on if the resentment heals over time by talking it out through months of therapy with him, or just leaving. Feels like the option clears my mind, but of course that horrible option comes with thousands of new changes that I never want interrupted. I truly love my life with him, just the sex and the memory is painful, or is resentment more painful?" OP on being re-traumatized every time when she's doing something with her husband says, "I'm starting to realize by these responses that is exactly what is happening to me. Also, he will have sex with me sometimes when I'm asleep, then I wake up with him having sex with me." OP, you gotta call the police on that one, huh? Because I'm not the same anymore, desiring it and initiating it. I'll wake up and go along with it and just enjoy what I can. I'm sorry that I'm a broken human right now. This is my first person to have sex with. I've been with only one man right now out of college and then married for 7. It's truly difficult for my mind just to stop sex. I know it's effed up what I'm doing too by ignoring it. Someone else says, "Wow, I don't know how you could truly ever get over that. The safe space and intimacy between you two is completely gone. I mean, to find someone else attractive is completely normal, but what he said while inside of you and continued to imagine her while giving you the best sex ever during your marriage would make me want to vomit. I would lose all attraction to him, and the only way that I'd ever want to be around him or intimate is if there was a way to build that level of trust again. Maybe counseling can help things. Are there other issues in this marriage? I can't imagine that this egregious slip of the tongue is an isolated incident. You deserve so much better. At the very least, a partner that doesn't announce he's going to pretend that you are someone else while he gets himself off using your body." OP says, "Best comment." Well, that's the problem. This is our first exposed, isolated moment, which makes me physically ill because I'm thinking all the time, wait, what does he really think? Is there more that he's hiding? I question everything now. He is very apologetic and wants to have counseling. He's very affectionate and knows something's wrong for a while and tries hard to help me by being more affectionate. However, I can live a happy marriage all day long. It's strictly during sex that I mentally freeze and feel like I'm with a stranger and being violated. I have to think of everything else and just accept the pleasure aspect. It's painful because we used to have such a strong love/friendship through intimacy. I can't stomach explaining to people why we divorced. I feel trapped, but also I don't know how a counselor can help push me through. I've read so much and did 3 solo sessions. I know it all stems from for forgiveness, but I have like a trauma memory almost. I understand it's not normal to find others attractive. I can easily tell him someone else is, but during an intimate moment talking about my cousin, who just got married, that I have to be a part of her life forever, it's gut-wrenching. I don't know how to move forward. I don't want to get a divorce and then this be a struggle with someone else. I also think to myself, are all men like this? This is so much. This is even more than the first story in terms of bullshittery. I'm getting someone that had a very sheltered upbringing from you and had a very limited perspective of the world, you know? If I were your friend and I was going to have a heart-to-heart with you, I'd say you need to divorce him. He took advantage of you in your sleep and continues to do so and thinks that that's an okay thing. That's straight up sexual assault, and you don't feel as though you can divorce him, and you don't feel as though you can say no. As hard as it is to be divorced and have that social stigma that you feel as though it will entail, that is better than staying in this relationship and continually being used and disrespected after the trust was completely shattered with his initial comments. If he wasn't taking advantage of you in your sleep, though, I would say that it sounds like you're going through an incredibly tough time right now, and it feels like your feelings of hurt and betrayal are completely valid in this situation. Your husband's words and actions were completely and deeply disrespectful, and it's understandable why you're traumatized as a result. I think it's important that you prioritize yourself now. Everything needs to be about you and protecting yourself. Don't blame yourself for his actions or feel like you need to just get over it. I think you should continue doing therapy and maybe couples counseling as well, if that is possible with him, just so that you have a safe space to work everything out and figure what will bring you the best outcome with healing, happiness, etc. Ultimately, I think the decision of whether or not you stay in this marriage is yours and yours alone, but I think you deserve to be in a relationship where you feel loved, where you feel safe, and where you feel respected. You need to communicate honestly and openly with your husband about your needs and your boundaries. If that includes abstaining from sex until you are ready, that needs to absolutely be on the top of that list. It's good that he did apologize, it's good that he's open to therapy, but I don't think he understands just how much pain you're in right now and how much pain he continues to inflict on you, and he needs to work with you to genuinely commit to rebuilding the trust that was broken between you two. I think that you were strong, and I think you were deserving of love and respect, but in my personal opinion here, it doesn't sound like he's going to give you that. Work on the marriage if you want to, but the vibes I'm getting from him are toxic and terrible. And now, onto the update. So I spoke with my husband, and it did not go well. I'm completely blindsided. I'm really appreciative of everyone's opinions and perspectives. However, it was more than I can emotionally or mentally handle. He was very remorseful about the first situation. My husband said he wanted to bang my cousin that was so hot after the wedding, as he shared that info inside me, then proceeded to F me like that because he enjoyed it and felt like the best sex of our life, and mine too. Though I was completely traumatized. He is so sorry that it hurts me to this day, but he totally gaslit me and thinks I'm immature and that I need to move on. He says that I've said hurtful stuff, and doesn't matter the depth of subject, that all hurts are equal. Then he starts crying about how sorry he is, and that it pains him how he hurt me, and wants our marriage to be restored. He completely diminished my feelings when I shared more after that, and acted like I needed to get over it. It gets worse. 1. He proceeds to tell me what I already know. But it gets worse. That of course it's normal to find other people attractive. He thinks I'm very beautiful, but he actually thinks like this a lot, and though he tries to enjoy making love with me, yes, he sometimes thinks of other women he's banged in college, my friends, my cousins, and occasionally porn girls that he saw online prior to marriage. Oh my god. Oh no. It's giving physical pain. It's giving, I hate reading this. He knows it's wrong and is a man working on his sinful desires. Here are his words. Those are his intrusive thoughts that he needs to battle against to make sure he loves me better and makes me feel desired. Thank you for cutting the knife deeper and extending the list. Whoa, gut-wrenching. I'm shaking typing this. 2. He wants to get help for our marriage and is willing to go to counseling, only if it's done through our church. Again, I only disclosed to some comments. Yes, we're Mormon, and it's very much like forgive and move on. No doubt there is a lot of work in those sessions, but I feel like it's a scapegoat for him. He doesn't think the counseling needs to be centered around this topic, but more of my resentment and unforgiveness issues. He thinks that I'm the problem and had no issues vocalizing that I need a lot of healing. Not from him, well, that I'm basically crazy. He also mentioned maybe my issue stems from not having a good dad in my life. I'm sorry, but I was not thinking about my father while you screwed me pretending that I was my cousin. I want to vomit. I want to run away. I want to cry. What is going on here? Are we being so for real right now? Like, seriously, what is going on? 3. He then states, why is this coming out of nowhere? I proceeded by sharing honesty and Reddit becoming my help to my voice. Whoa, now he is very mad. How could I share such intimate details with strangers? I know it's wrong, but of course now I'm a crazy woman and he's super hurt that I did that and doesn't know how he can forgive me for that. 4. I bring up the sex. I told him that I feel uncomfortable and numb. I think it's highly disturbing that he fingers me to find my hole and then inserts his dick in me while I'm sleeping, and that more than 20 plus times I either accept it and just lay there with my eyes closed, or I'm awake to enjoy the pleasure and he will continue it until he finishes from dodgy position every time and then rolls over and snoozes. He says sorry, I will never do that again since it makes me uncomfortable. He thought it was consensual since it's been happening like that all summer. I said, well, I have been unwell mentally and didn't voice it. He then says he finds it offensive and disturbing that I called it assault and that he is not dominating and I need help for using those words. 5. He thinks we should separate and doesn't want to talk to me. Smiley face. He thinks it's better that we don't talk because he doesn't like fighting and my mean words and accusations. He said he's willing to make it work if I seek help from the church and go to counseling, that I'm the one with serious issues because he already said sorry the one time. 6. I got very angry and called him an effing asshole and was yelling at him and crying. He walked out of the room and said he was not dealing with me. I followed him, and he said that it's best we don't talk unless it's in front of a counselor and told me to get away from him. 7. He said when we didn't have sex last night, he was concerned about how I looked, so he prayed for me. He's concerned that I need help, suggested that I read my Bible, go for a walk, and learn to forgive quickly because the hate in my heart is really unattractive. He also suggested we try for a baby this month because he wants more kids, so to forgive him soon so we don't miss that opportunity. Then proceeds to stonewall me. 8. He is completely offended that I don't think he loves me or cares for me, that he's human and makes mistakes. I need to get over it immediately that I'm destroying our marriage and intimacy. I have many violent thoughts right now. In conclusion, I am apparently a not-so-hot spiraling girl. I'm very shocked. I didn't think that I could be more hurt. I'm with a completely narcissistic, cruel, and manipulative man. This is not who I married. He's loving, kind, and affectionate and is such an incredible dad. Does the Shroud of Night leave me with his darker side? Does he have a side that I don't know that's revealing itself through this situation? Should I be concerned? I'm so confused that after this whole conversation, I'm now the bad person and he's the saint concerned for me. I'm feeling like I'm just his release to come and his companion for life's normal box checking. But I don't think he truly loves and cares for me, which hurts me worse than his confessions. I will definitely be seeking counseling by myself and with him, but with a third party not from the church. Let's see if this ends in divorce or can be restored. I'm completely broken. Please tell me that there are men who don't think like this. Men, please answer me this. Is he completely insane, or am I truly the wild one? He's insane. He's insane. He is a basket case. Remove him. Get rid of him. If you respond, please do so with kindness, as I'm really unwell right now. Also, please mention if you're married if commenting so I can understand your opinion. The original post is on my page because someone, probably my husband, keeps reporting me. If you can't see the original viral post, which I keep getting messages about it being taken down, I can share screenshots. Just message me. I'm truly embarrassed, but this situation online has helped me so much and revealed so much truth. Update: yes, I'm getting a lawyer and seeking a psychologist tomorrow. Thanks for all the concern. Edit: I'm usually great at responding, but I'm going to stop now and just reflect. I'm reading every single message, and it's so helpful, challenging, and uncomfortable. I appreciate every one of you, no matter your stance. It brought me to a place that saved myself. I never thought nor wanted to be here, but it's life. I can't not respond because I'm feeling very unwell and mentally can't handle it. I will focus on myself and children while navigating from a licensed psychologist, not church-affiliated, and a lawyer who is also not church-affiliated. Thank you. I hope you understand that I'm now processing the pain of the above conversation and will for time to come. I no longer have the capacity to communicate back with each comment, though it helped so much earlier. I'll continue to read every single comment. By the way, staying in my guest bedroom locked. No worries though, as he's treating me like I do not exist. It's disturbing, but the isolation is necessary. In the comments, divorce, divorce, and divorce. OP says, I know. I just can't think straight right now. I need therapy for my sanity and to be walked through this properly solo. I truly can't think straight for a divorce right now. I'm too fragile. This man will rip the rug under me in this state of mind. Of course, I have hope in it working out and him getting help for his disturbing viewpoints, but I'm too in shock to spend the time dissecting that. I know. In reality, divorce makes the most sense now, but I have children. I have a million things to think about now. He is gaslighting the absolute hell out of you. Jesus Christ. OP says, I know. I'm out of words. I was not expecting this. I'm Mormon. Everything he said is not okay. You don't need the church, you need a divorce. This goes beyond, I was drunk and slipped about liking your cousin. This is toxic. If he is Mormon too, then why is he drinking? It sounds like a double life going on, using the church to keep up his image. If he assaulted you, then that's grounds for excommunication. He has many issues, and the gaslighting is absolutely a tactic to flip all of this on you and make you feel guilty. Screw him and his I'll pray for you bullshit. My husband would never ever act this way with me, and if he did, I would leave him too. The way your husband is talking is scary and dangerous. Also, he could very likely be into porn. His sex drive and fantasizing can be normal, but his hostility towards you and defensiveness screams porn addict to me. OP says, I have no desire to dissect his addiction or reasonings behind anything because he truly feels like he's not in the wrong and anything he did wrong is forgivable and I need to move on. He took me on a roller coaster of crying, pleading, yelling, screaming, laughing at me, and then stonewalling me all in one conversation. But I'm crazy? I'm crazy in the fact that I was stupid to wait this long and not deal with this sooner. Yes, he shouldn't drink, but he does on occasion. A lot of Mormons secretly do, and then regret it. Clearly, it's not a drinking problem, but a sex issue. At this point, I don't care if he watches porn. It's completely wrong. Everything he says is wrong. I care about my well-being. The stress on my body today is painful. Someone else says, quote, he knows it's wrong and is a man working on his sinful desires. This is when I knew that it was a lost cause. It only got worse when he made sure to let her know that she is the problem. That's when I knew they were Mormon. The way he was speaking to her and how she was justifying a lot of it and acting as if it were normal. I feel awful for her being assaulted every night. That is a genuinely insane thing to do, and something that hits close to home, though I'm not talking about me. I called it around then too, and she's so smart to go to a non-Mormon therapist and lawyer. Most couples just end up in the bishop's office and the gaslighting continues. This is the R word, and historically Mormon leaders have not been great at supporting victims in these situations, sometimes even dissuading them from going to the police. Ask me how I know. So glad to be out of this cult. OP's husband is one of those assholes who has learned therapy speak and weaponizes it against his partner to make her seem like the crazy one, and then to suggest therapy through their church. Yuck. He's going to make the divorce hell. He's doing everything he can to win the argument at this point. Probably be a decade, if ever, before he has the self-awareness to realize his divorce was his fault. He won't realize it. He's not concerned about her since he's brushing off everything that she says and just thinks that she's unwell and needs prayer and Bible. If I were to sit down with OP right now, I would want to give her some help and encouragement to get her out of this situation, to get that final push. I want to say, OP, after hearing everything about how awful your husband is and how he spoke to you after that and how he's trying to twist this whole situation to make you feel as though you're the problem, please, you need to leave him. He's not showing any genuine remorse at all for what he put you through. And based on your reactions here, he seems to have been gaslighting and diminishing your very much valid feelings, and he doesn't see anything wrong at all with what he did. He's only sorry that you're upset by it. That's all. It is amazing that you have started therapy. It's amazing that you're looking at lawyers. All of that is so good, but please, for your own safety and for your own well-being and for your children, distance yourself from this man. Do not let him manipulate you any further. He is toxic. You deserve so much better than the way that he is treating you. Please go and get any other forms of help that you can, and please get out of there. If anything, I am praying for the best for you, OP. Use that as a guideline if you guys want for any of your friends that are going through tough times like this, that are going through a similar situation. I'm genuinely disgusted by him entirely. He is not a good person. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to end today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.